It's time for EdTech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.
Billions have been invested in grants, infrastructure funding for higher education in Nigeria. But is EdTech adoption in Nigerian universities truly making a difference? Welcome to EdTech Mondays Nigeria, a platform that facilitates critical conversations on the use of technology for teaching and learning. My name is Chinyelu Apa, and it's good to be back here again. In our earlier episodes, we explored the journey of technology adoption in higher education and its impact on workforce readiness. But adoption alone is not enough. How do we measure its real impact? Despite billions invested in initiatives, policies, and grants, many still question whether these investments translate into tangible improvements in teaching, learning, and access. On this week's edition of the EdTech Mondays Nigeria show, we will continue our discussion on evaluating the impact of technology on higher education. However, we'll focus deeper on how impact is being measured through infrastructure and funding. To do justice to this discussion are two amazing guests. Our first guest is a distinguished academic and professor of physics education with a focus on capacity development programs and curricula that support teachers' professional growth. Her work integrates cutting-edge technologies to enhance physics learning outcomes across cultures, particularly for disadvantaged groups, thereby contributing to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. With over 15 years in higher education, she excels in teaching, research, and training educators in 21st century learning skills, digital pedagogy, and the future of learning. Join me as I welcome the distinguished Professor Folashade Afolabi.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Prof. It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And our second guest is a lecturer at the Department of Mechanical Engineering, University of Lagos, where he also manages the Yinusa Fabrication Laboratory. He is a prolific researcher with over 100 publications. He has served as a visiting scholar at MIT and is a fellow of the MIT Empowering the Teachers program. His research spans thermofluid dynamics, climate change adaptation, nanotechnology, additive manufacturing, and green energy. He is actively involved in several research networks, including the Yinusa Climate Research Group and the AfriTech. Join me as I welcome Dr. Ahmed Yinusa.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you, Doc. So I have a prof and a doc. There's so much knowledge oozing in the studios today. You guys have to come join us. I feel like once I'm done with this episode, I'll have an honorary degree because you both are about to dish out so much knowledge. But it's great to have you both here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very
So
much.
we'll jump right into the conversation. To what extent are current policies and funding frameworks actually driving sustainable technology adoption in our higher education institutions in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Let me just go straight into answering your question. One, the Nigerian government is doing a lot. Aside the adoption, they are funding technology integration into the curriculum. However, much has not been achieved in terms of funding. Look at the population of Nigeria, and the government cannot do it alone. In terms of TETFUND, there is TETFUND that is funding all these technology integration into the curriculum and also adoption. I don't want to talk much on adoption. I want to talk on the funding of infrastructure and also the curriculum integration of technology into it. Because before you can talk about infrastructure, you must also look at the curriculum. What do they want to fund in the curriculum? When we look at TETFUND, we have so many structures But look at the population of Nigeria universities. Look at, we have university at the state level, we have university at the federal level, then we have also the private universities. But I want to just restrict myself to the government-owned universities. In my university, University of Lagos, we have so many structures in terms of the internet, provision of internet facilities, subsidized electricity. They subsidize electricity, and also government partner with some of these companies. Some of these companies out there, they partner with them to provide facilities that will enhance technology integration in the curriculum and also the usage of the technology in our universities. We have different hubs. It is part of one. We have the NEET hub. NEET hub takes care of the technology integration and also the usage in the university. And also we have different ones. We have the recycling hubs, and then we have the boot camp that he talks about. That is part of it. So government is really doing a lot, but it is not that visible. We still need more funds in education system. In terms of technology integration. Technology, it's something that is dynamic and keeps changing. The software you have today, there will be a kind of an upgrade that you will need another one. How many students, how many families could afford this? So we still need more funding in education.
I like what you said there, Prof. Because seeing that technology is dynamic, it means that if you provide technology today, you should be ready for an upgrade.
Of course, yes,
so
very well.
You've mentioned clearly that they are providing, but when you juxtapose the provision to the population, we are still at a disadvantage because there is a bit of, you're having a lot of people, a lot of learners, that graduates in these universities. However, what we have cannot cater to all of them. That's why you're now saying there's a need to now incorporate the private sector into supporting technology adoption in tertiary institutions. So, and you've mentioned TETFUND, which is, you cannot be in the Nigerian education system, at least in the public education system in Nigeria, and not beam a light on TETFUND. So, I'll come to you, Doc, and ask, are research grants and funds such as TETFUND truly being translated into meaningful technological progress in universities?
Well, thank you so much once again for having me. Well, I would say to an extent. Yeah. So, and of course we have to give credit to governments and funders, both within and outside the nation, for some of the impacts they've made in terms of supporting literacy and the likes. So we have some digital learning framework that are already in place, like she mentioned, TETFUND. Then we also have the one being led by NITDA. Just like in University of Lagos, we have a particular hub called the NIT Hub, and you will be wowed by the amazing innovation coming out of this space. So what we've been able to do so far is to see how this hub can actually synchronize in providing these unique solutions that are needed by the nation. Now, in as much as we've given credit to the funders, there is also need to mention this. Everything still revolves around the government, right? Imagine, UNESCO said allocate 18 to 20% of your budget to education. Now, guess what we're currently having in Nigeria? Less than 8%. You know what that will translate to? Disparity in the use of what we're talking about, technology and the likes. So we have people that are underserved, people that don't have access to this thing, and even when they have access to it, they will be meeting. Some of them will be meeting it for the first time, right? So what we're trying to look at is it possible to look for an avenue, not just to get this fund, but also to manage and also track the usage. That is very, very key. Because when that feedback mechanism is put in place to kind of like manage and track, okay, like a check to check what is going out, what is coming in at every point. Then we'll see a situation where this particular grant or fund being allocated to this is actually being used to what they are meant to be used for. But I still need to stress this. It is important for government to look critically into the budget allocation to education.
But let me stop. So, budget, so let's agree now that the allocation to education in Nigeria is little. And from this, there's an allocation that is going to the universities. So, since both of you are in the university system, is there a specific budgetary allocation that goes to technology integration in the school? Because I want to believe that the money that goes to the schools, maybe from NUC, wherever it comes from, right, is going to the general running of schools. So is there a specific, maybe say, if a school gets a particular sum, 5% or 10% of this sum needs to be set aside for technology integration in teaching and learning? Because TETFUND is not part of what is going to the schools directly. It is like interventions and the rest. But when we talk about what the schools now allocate from their own purse or coffers, do we need that type of structure so that once you're having the funders like the TETFUND, like the NEET does, and you're putting together a university system that says, from what I get, I am putting down 30%. I'm putting down 40% of my total annual budget for tech integration.
Okay, I can quickly speak to that. Okay. What we explore, let me speak for my university. So I work closely with the International Relation Partnership and Prospect Office. And what this office does is to explore the Sustainable Development Goal 17, SDG 17, which is partnership, to see how they can actually bring funders to the university. So this fund will come in terms of grants. So you mentioned Afritech when you were getting my bio. So African Engineering and Technology, it's a coalition. And University of Lagos happen to be the only university that is part of this. That's the only university in Nigeria that is part of this coalition. So Afritech is funded by MasterCard. They get this fund, and this fund comes to the university. Now, university has a certain percentage that will be taken out of this particular fund. The fund is actually meant to go to the university to host activities such as the Bridge Program, Innovation Challenge, or the General Hackathon that we know. Then organize like green software challenge, expose students to the use of AI, machine learning, and the likes. But because the office is using the affiliation, the University of Lagos, we have certain percentage, I think 10% going into the university. Because the university is going to provide the infrastructure for the grants to actually be implemented. So this is one way the university is looking. The university use the IRPP office to kind of like attract funders like Afritech, then organize interesting activities like Bridge Program, Innovation Challenge that captures the industry, private sectors. Because when students are involved in it, I've coordinated 2 Innovation Challenge for University of Lagos. Last year we had innovation related to energy, and this year we've done innovation in health. We are amazed by the interesting solutions, indigenous solution. Let me put it that way: indigenous solution as these are students are able to come up with, and the judges, we intentionally frame it such that the judges will come from the industry, right? Private sectors. So, and then these people, when they get to see the amazing solution being showcased by the students, they can then put it, yes. So that's another way Unilab is looking at. We're looking at the fund we get, although we have a particular share allocated to the university because we're using the university infrastructure, but the output of these activities will also draw more funders to the game. So I can only.
I think let me just add. So the money that goes to technology out of the budget allocation is very, very minimal. So university needs to source for funds from outside and also from private sectors. So if we get this money, these are the money that we use, to develop infrastructures for technology. As he has rightly said, we have different partners different partners. We have a Commonwealth of Learning, Association of Commonwealth Universities, and other foreign organizations that is helping out. But this help is because when you look at these organizations, they always want to fund first generation universities. So what about other universities that are not first generation universities? Their energy is always channeled towards University of Lagos, University of Ibadan, OAU, ABU, and the likes.
I want us to agree that we are going to give ourselves one more episode to talk about this conversation, because we cannot unpack everything on this. Do I have your agreement to come back next week? So let me just ask one final question as we round up this particular episode. Maybe this is where we'll continue from next week. But are universities now also thinking about innovative ways to solve for connectivity, power, and the rest? Because if you have a hub that has 1,000 computers and you don't have connectivity, you just have television screens in a room.
In my university, there was a time that we partner with network providers, Glo, so that our students can have access to internet facility at a reduced cost. And also, the university subsidizes electricity. So yes, subsidizes electricity so that we can get electricity at a cheaper rate. And this is quite commendable. And also, where electricity is much needed, like the Distance Learning Institute, we have our solar energy. But we just finished conducting a research on AI integration and adoption in Nigerian universities. I was so surprised that there are some universities that they said they cannot fill Google Form because of the internet facility. So they asked me, it's as bad as that I had to send, I won't mention particular region, I had to send hard copy. Hard copies to them of the forms. I put the hard copy inside the Ghana Must Go, sealed and labeled it, and then
write the name. In case of they didn't have money to buy data, that there's no connectivity there.
Thank you. There's there is connectivity, but no, it is at higher rate. And then there's no electricity. They have epileptic electricity supply. So they said, we cannot even use our money to buy data. If you can provide data for us. I said, okay, I'm going to send you data. I sent them data. Weeks later, no response from them. They said, we don't have electricity to even connect. So we will appreciate if you can send us the hard copy. So it's as bad as that.
Okay.
Just to add to that, there's this mentality of I don't want to change. This is the way I've been doing it. I don't want to change. Some might just be used to this is the way we've been doing it. I don't want to change. I just want to follow the same pattern. Why do I need to go online, click and start doing all of this? So that's it. Then I don't know if I can I also add to her point. She said it, but there was a time the university adopted what we call the learning management system. And this of course, was hosted, and it's also currently being hosted in the CITS, that's the Center for Information and Technology, University of Lagos. So what they did was, for large classes, I teach a faculty course, and I have more than 1,000 students taking this course. I even have students from outside engineering coming for this, like engineering, drawing, and the likes. So how do I assess these students? How am I sure? Okay, communicating, I know we've gone ahead of classroom. I can't accommodate 1,000 students. I'll go on Zoom or use the learning management system platform provided by the university. But the challenge is always, how am I sure my students are connected? Even if they are connected, how am I sure the internet connectivity is strong enough to get the lecture? Right? Yes, we can say, well, they can always get the recording, but you can't compare listening to recording to when they're actually interacting with the lecturer. So you like us tried in the area of learning management system. Also in terms of assessments now, it's like a law now in the University of Lagos. When you have a student taking an exam that is more than 1,000, then we have facilities for them
Facilities.
that will take care of that. Right. So, and that has also put University of Lagos on a scale where even the likes of JAMB and all that, people want to come and use that facility for the assessment. But based on our interaction with the students, right, we see notice a lot of people complaining about this.
Power.
And I'll give you an example. A short example. Last semester we went virtual. The semester we went virtual. I'm the faculty examination officer. So we went virtual. So the students had the semester at home. So, and what we noticed was that some of them come with the complaint of, I was locked out while you were giving your lecture, because some lecturers are so strict when it comes to attendance, and with Zoom you can monitor when the student enter, the duration the student actually is in class. So, and all of this counts when it comes to grading and allowing them for exam. According to the university rules state that you must have more than 65% attendance before you can take any exam. So when you check this and you notice the student is not qualified, these are some of the excuses they bring by connectivities. So how do we now mitigate this? One of the ways we're looking at is what I've mentioned: partnership, collaboration. We co-create, right? We co-create, and when we co-create, what this brings is increase in the amenities we have. So we have a lot of activities we try to engage ourselves with in terms of partnership, collaboration, and co-creation that yield things that help mitigate to an extent, but that doesn't still remove the fact that funding is
the major thing. I can commend the University of Lagos.
All right, so this is, as I said, this has been a very scholarly episode where we are unpacking how the university, systems work, how the higher education systems work in Nigeria, and really wanting to see how we can leverage partnerships to improve infrastructure that will support EdTech adoption in our higher education systems. And it's been so insightful. So I want to say thank you so much again, Prof. And Doc.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for agreeing to continue conversation with us next week.
Yeah.
And to you, our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Do you think the Nigerian higher education system is doing enough to integrate technology that can support EdTech adoption in Nigerian undergraduates? Do you think our university systems, our polytechnic systems, the College of Education are doing enough, are making enough investments in technology that will support EdTech adoption in our HEI systems? I would love to hear from you. If you are an undergraduate, if you are a postgraduate, schooling in a university or in any institution in Nigeria, be it public or private, would love to hear from you. This is the opportunity to toot the horn of your school. Rep your school in the comment section. Let's know. Call us. How well is your school doing around technology adoption that is supporting you to learn from anywhere? Are you still required to travel in to have your classes in the rain, under the sun? We'd love to hear from you. Send us an SMS or a WhatsApp message on 0703 165 0809 or 0706 402 0742. We would love to hear from you. Remember, this episode is also live on YouTube at CC Hub Africa. You can also listen to us again in case you missed this episode or any of our other episodes at Spotify, EdTech Mondays Nigeria. And until I come your way, same time next week, still speaking on this topic, I remain your host, Chinyelu Akpa. Is bye for now.
It's time for EdTech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.